He said he needed someone. I volunteered, and the rabbi will be here Wednesday, and I will cover the 2 days, today and tomorrow. Father Connolly gave me a brief outline of how this all got started. About 2 years ago, there was an ad in the newspaper where the Church of Christ challenged the priest of the Catholic Church in Pottsville. It took a couple of years for this to be settled, more or less, and as a result of negotiations between the two parties, we are here this evening. I think it's a wonderful thing that people of different faiths can get together, express their views. You in the audience can make up your own mind, and I think that perhaps this is a stepping stone where all faiths should get together. We learn about each other and let each of us do their own beliefs. They had quite a contract, and I'm going to read to you. I have about 7 minutes to do it all, which I'll read for you, which are the debate rules. Representatives of the Church of Christ and the Catholic Church agree to meet in public debate June 17th, 18th, and 19th in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. The debate will be held at the Nativity High School. On June 7th, Darrell Conley will affirm the proposition resolved. The true church, the one established by Jesus Christ, recognizes the Bible as its only authority in faith and practice. Paul Rothamel, Father Rothamel of Bethlehem, will deny. On June 18th, Mr. H.A. Dobbs will affirm the proposition resolved. The distinctive Catholic doctrines about Mary, the Eucharist, and the Pope contradict the Bible teaches. Edward B. Connolly, Father Connolly, will deny. On June 19, Jerry Moffat, H.A. Dobbs, Darrell Conley, Father Rothamel, Father Connolly, and Father Luther will constitute a panel that will answer questions from the audience that have been written and handed in during the first 2 nights of debate. Each side will select the questions to be answered by the other side. No oral questions will be accepted from the audience. Both sides agree that they will not attempt to take unfair advantage either by imposing unfair rules on each other or in the conduct of the debate itself. The speeches of the first 2 nights will be 20 minutes long, alternating between the affirmative and the negative. There will be 3 affirmative speeches and 3 negative speeches. The third night questioning will last for 2 hours with a 10-minute break after the first hour. The questioning can be extended beyond 2 hours if the participants are willing. Each debater may have 2 helpers seated at the table with him in addition to another 2 helpers to assist with slides and transparencies. Each side will choose a timekeeper. A neutral master of ceremonies will be selected. That's myself. I won't go into that. The affirmative has the obligation to define the terms of proposition, will have the burden of proof in demonstrating the truth of his proposition. The negative will have the duty of answering the arguments advanced by the affirmative. If one side believes his opponent is not meeting his obligation in the debate, it will be his responsibility to point that out to the audience. No one will have the right to make rulings. The parties agree to each other to be as honorable, sincere men, and will conduct themselves with dignity and with respect for one another, and will not engage in personal attacks. No new material will be introduced in the closing speech by the negative each evening, since the opponent would not have the opportunity to reply. The audience will be asked to demonstrate no approval or disapproval during the debate. Although they will be free to nod their heads or chuckle if something funny comes up, there should be no clapping, no speaking from the audience, such as saying amen, etc. The audience is asked not to become involved in controversy with the audience members during or after each debate each night. Let the debaters do the debating. Arrangements may be made by each side for taping the debate, both audio and video. No taping except the authorized by each side will be permitted. Each side will have the right to publish the debate as long as the speeches are presented and delivered and no additional material is included. Each speaker will have the right to review the manuscript before publication. The audio and the videotapes will not be distributed or broadcast in altered form. And they signed by Darrell Conley, H.A. Dobbs, Jerry Moffat, also signed by Father Paul Rothamel, Father Edward B. Conley, and Father Benjamin Luther. I noticed it wasn't notarized. However, years ago, Henry Clay moderated a debate years ago here in Pottsville between the Catholic Church and the Presbyterian Church. And I think it's fitting that many, many years later, another debate has taken place. And I guess that's the only way we're going to understand each other. The first speaker, they will each have 19 minutes for the first two speakers. After that, whatever time is left, they will split the difference, I am told. Our first speaker for the affirmative is Darrell Conley, is a preacher of the Northern Oaks Church of Christ in San Antonio, Texas. He has been there for 10 years. He has been a gospel preacher for more than 41 years in Texas, Georgia, and Louisiana. He is the son, the brother, and the father of full-time gospel preachers. He has 2 children and 9 grandchildren. He was educated in the University of Texas in Austin, the University of State of New York, and John Marshall Law School in Atlanta, Georgia. He is the author of several books and has contributed chapters to more than 30 other books. He has held several religious debates, including a 4-night debate in San Antonio last August with 2 representatives of Catholic Response, a Catholic evangelist and apologetic organization. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Pottsville welcome to Mr. Darrell Conley.
How many of you have ever had to stand up and do nothing and try to look dignified for a minute or so while everyone has their eye on you? I probably didn't bring it off. But it's wonderful to be here. Appreciate that warm welcome. And you're very kind. It's a great pleasure to be here in Pottsville and appreciate your warm hospitality. Now, as you know, it is not possible for us to address our opponents by their religious titles. And we've talked with them, and they've agreed when it's necessary to refer to them by their first name, which we'll be glad to do. We'd mean no disrespect whatsoever by not referring to these men by the title of Father. But since Matthew 23:9 says, "Call no one on earth your father, you have but one Father in heaven," we take that seriously, and we don't do that. I hope, though, that from now until the debate's over and afterward, that my colleagues and I will be able to call these men, each one of them, as friend. It's a pleasure to have with me Jerry Moffitt and Buster Dobbs, who will be debating tomorrow night. Appreciate these men very much and look forward to the association together. It's a pleasure to have Rudy Kane and his wife and his organization here, the World Video Bible School. They videoed the debate in San Antonio, and appreciate them and the hard work they've done, the trouble they have gone to be here. We will have a break after 60 minutes of talking. That'll be after my second speech, and so you can look forward to that. Also, I'm very happy to have here my